Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, now it works. My name is Mette Gjerskov. I am from the Danish Parliament. I'm a former minister. And first allow me to express my respect for all the work you do for women all over the world and, of course, Africa. I was a bit provoked by the thought of new colonialism. Being from Europe, of course, this hurts me. And so I would like to share a bit, because I have been to Africa, and I know that there are different countries, and I've been to Zimbabwe and Mali and Tunisia and Tanzania and Kenya and Rwanda, a lot of African countries. And I've spoken to a lot of African women. And my lesson learned from being from a colonialistic society is do no harm. Allow people to make their own choices. And when I've been to Africa, I've spoken to a lot of women, and some women want this, and some women want that. But I think we should allow them to decide for themselves. And that includes freely decide over their own body, their own sexuality, when and how many babies they want, if they want contraception, if they want abortion. We don't have to put it on anybody else. So if you want to make sure that you don't start a new colonization, let people make their own choices, decide over their own body. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I'd like to address the lady who had spoken, the Danish lady who had spoken about comparing African women not having the right to choose what to do with her body and it being colonization. It's actually quite amazing how you were able to kind of twist that into shape, to that thought. But I must say this to you. I am from a tribe called the Igbo tribe in Nigeria. If I tried to translate in my native tongue what it means for a woman to choose what to do with her body, I couldn't. Most of the African native languages don't even have a way of phrasing abortion to mean anything good. Now, as communities of people and as societies, where it actually then becomes colonization, a neo-colonization, is that people from the Western world come to Africa and try to give us these kinds of language that we could never translate into our native tongue. They tell us that it actually can mean something for a woman to do something with her body, which isn't really morally bad. But anyway, the first thing that we have to think of and remember is that as communities, which was one thing I highlighted right at the beginning, culturally, most of the African communities actually believe, by tradition, by their cultural standards, that abortion is a direct attack on human life. So for anybody to convince a woman that abortion is good, sorry. So I'm sorry. So for anybody to be able to convince any woman in Africa that abortion is actually a good thing and can be a good thing, you first of all have to tell her that what her parents and her grandparents and her ancestors taught her what is actually wrong. You're going to have to tell her that they have always been wrong in their thinking. And that, madam, is colonization.
We are, excuse me. We are bound by our contract with the conference management of the UN that we must end at 6 o'clock because there is another event. I would like to give the last, to Maria, the last word among the panelists, and then we will.
I believe that Uju's last word was absolutely splendid. I really don't have anything to add to that. Thank you, Uju.
Thank you, Dr. Wally, for everything that you do for mothers in Africa and their children.